Professor Melly Mill, the Hood Postman. You know that vibe. So who am I here with today?
Big Reg.
Big Reg.
That's right.
Man, I can see you big in posture and statue, but how did you really get that name, Big Reg? Tell me about it.
Well, when I was young, I was thin. And me, Eric Davis, Damon Farmar, Jordan Farmar's father, played with the Lakers. We all played at a park called Baldwin Hills.
Okay.
And I was skinny. You know, as you know, we became young men and young adults. I just started getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
Okay.
And shit, after a while, I was Big Reg. I was a skinny Reg no more.
So you know, throughout the industry, people you work with and people you indulge in, and they all refer to you as Big Reg?
Big Reg.
Okay, good enough, good enough. So you grew up in West Los Angeles, am I correct?
Westside.
Westside.
Real Westside, baby.
Real Westside, baby. Explain that to us. So for those who don't know, what a real Westside baby is.
Well, I mean, a person that was really raised west of Crenshaw and west of La Brea. You see what I'm saying? So
that's the far west.
Yeah, that's the far west, but that's the real west. You see what I'm saying? And you know, people, you know, they get things confused about West Side cats, East Side cats, South Central cats, and all that. We was always referred on that side as the sedity or stuck up or pretty boys type of nigga, but you know, we some players too. We some gangsters too. You know, don't get it fucked up. And you know, we was just, you know, when we grew up was just who we are. You know, and that's how we carried ourselves because we had both of the best worlds. You see what I'm saying? As far as dealing with South Central and dealing with Beverly Hills and Hollywood and all these other places.
My experience that you guys were educated and street marks. That's been my experience.
Well, that's the truth. But see, it still comes from where you was laced at. See, a lot of cats, you know, it's just like when they do the Crip and Blood thing. You know, the first Crip gang, independent Crip gang over there on the West Side was the Bible Crips. Okay, it wasn't no schoolyard, it wasn't no Gear, Marvin, PBG, Mansfield. It wasn't none of that. It was Bible Crips, and they grew up right there on Queen Anne, where Queen Anne Park is. Okay, where PBG, not PBG, excuse me, but where Schoolyard Hood is, they used to be the 20s hood. Okay, it was for Schoolyard came over there. But, you know, the first three gangs that was over there came from Bible. First it was Godfather Crips. So Godfather Crips was really, you know, it's called them Harlem Godfather Crips, and that really came from probably, I guess, where Harlem started from 30s and anything west. And then it turned in, you know, the Bible Crips came in, and after that, Marvin came in, Gear came in, Schoolyard came in, PBG came in, and then Mansfield came in.
So you watched all this stuff come into play?
Because all those cats is my age, okay?
Okay.
You know, so like the Bible Crips, they're a little older than me. You see what I'm saying? Touche Turtle, Big Bonehead, all them dudes, you know, they play at Queen Anne Park. They raised us. Chalk Dog, Spit, Reggie, Boom, TJ, you know, Crip Johnny. You see what I'm saying? I was raised by them things, so when cats came from the east and they came from the west, like, you know, your boy Tootie, that was his age group.
Okay.
And so, you know, there was times my grandmother used to go downstairs and bang on the goddamn Chalk Dog and Spit and Tookie's car and make them walk us to Baldwin Hills Park. You know, during day after they've been out all night lollygagging and doing what the fuck they doing. But you know, my granny used to go in there, hit that motherfucker the window, they jump up, oh, lady, leave us alone. But she used to make them walk us up to the park because we had baseball games up at Baldwin.
So it'd be fair to say during this time there was no 60, there was no A-Tray.
No, it wasn't none of that.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? Back in the day when I was growing up, Crips and Bloods used to meet up at Rancho, where Dorsey Park.
El Rancho, I went swimming there.
Yeah, so you know, they'd sit up in there.
That's across the street from Baldwin, the Jungles.
There you go. So that, see, and at that time, the cats there, you know, the Bloods and the Crips or whatever they was, you see what I'm saying, they used to play football, baseball, and basketball up there and barbecue. You wouldn't see no shit. The worst thing you'll see if it's a fight, maybe a knife, but it wasn't no gunplay back then.
Gotcha. What school did you attend, Reg?
Well, I extended from Marvin, Cienega. From Cienega, I went to Marvin. From Marvin, I went to Pastor. From Pastor, my mom and my stepdad, they bought a house up in Altadena. So I went to Muir, you know. Doing
John Muir?
John Muir, junior high in Lincoln.
Uh-huh.
I went up there, and, you know, when I got out there, you know, people would say, "Oh, you from L.A.? You from L.A.? You from L.A.? Yeah, I'm from
So
L.A."
you sort of kind of introduced them cats to some things.
To some game. You know, one of my good partners up there, you know, rest in peace, his name was Tanoa.
Uh-huh.
You know, it's history. You know, it's a lot of history of things that I've been through.
Right.
You know, things that I see through my eyes, who I've had actual, you know, relationships with. So I go through them. Eddie Bird, Michael Bird, the Bird family up there, Wolford D.
Do you remember the Booty Slide?
I don't know the Booty Slide.
The Booty Slide was in Brookside Park.
See, the Brookside Park was straight up lake.
Uh-huh.
Okay, you take Lake straight up, and Brookside, if you pass Aldina Drive, Brookside was over there. That's where you see Eddie Bird, Michael Bird, the Bird family, the Fletcher, Darnell Fletcher, and them, that family. You know, but they were not necessarily a generation, but I must say a half generation older than us.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? So, you know, that's where it comes from, the respect. You know, the respect aspect.
So,
what?
No, so let me cut you off. So being on the West Side, what I want to understand is, who were some of the people that you ran with that people are aware of that was like really big in the game, or necessarily they might have been on the Crip side or the Blood side? That doesn't even matter.
But players over there.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? You know, that Crip game, see what people are not understanding about the gang thing is, back then you had two sectors. You had the gang bangers and you had the players. You see what I'm saying? You know, we was players over there.
Give me a lineup of the players.
You know, players. You know, we can be players. We play with these little chicks out here. We do what we need to do, but don't get it fucked up. We can get gangster too.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
So you ran with LaRue.
Yeah, me, LaRue. You know, Pimp Doobie raised us. Daff, Jamaica's husband. You know, he raised us. Who else over there? Pimp, you know, Doobie, you know. And then,
you met Cadillac Bobby as well?
Cadillac Bob's from the east side to me. Cadillac Bob's off Vermont.
Uh-huh.
Okay? Cadillac Bob.
But Cadillac Bob was trying to be in the know.
See, that's where people get things twisted.
Uh-huh.
And you may or may be able to relate to what I'm saying. But all the cats around LA used to want to come to the West Side for the girls, because we had the girls over there.
True.
Okay, that's just true. That's just facts.
Calvert House and Consolidated Plaza.
That. I don't care if you come from Compton, if you come from Watts, if you come from Inglewood, you guys came to the West Side because we had the educated, light-skinned, brown-skinned, black-skinned, beautiful women up there. You see what I'm saying? So you guys come there, you guys...
And on top of that, they had money.
Yeah, and they had an education. Their parents had money.
Uh-huh.
You see what I'm saying? Till we started getting in the game and understanding the game.
Uh-huh.
So it was just a different flavor on how we rocked. You see what I'm saying? So when cats start coming over there, you got to understand, I used to do a club at 20 called Flanagan's. Used to be in the marina.
I remember Flanagan's.
Okay, that was my club. You feel me? And I ran that shit for years.
Flanagan was popping.
It was popping. But we was players. I understood the player game. So LaRue, Dave, you know, them my partners. You see what
Explain who Dave is.
Black Dave, that's Harry O's younger brother.
So you was running with Harry O and them cats.
Well, Harry O was always doing what he do, but me, LaRue, and Dave was tight. You see what I'm saying? You know, see, people, you know, you got to understand, Dave is like maybe a year and some change. I mean, Mike is a year and some change older than Dave. You know, Dave's my age.
Okay.
Dave was LaRue's age.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? We was all, you know, that's what we did. You know, 2 years make a difference.
It does.
You see what I'm saying? So you talking about the game when, you know, when Mike was doing his thing, you can understand. You can talk about 24, 25-year-old cat, you know, making some move, got a limousine service, got a beauty shop, got this and got that. That's how we played. You know, Mike understood the game. What made Mike so powerful, he understood the game of being a player and, you know, somewhat of a gangster too. So, you know, when, you know, people gravitate to Mike, Mike's a good dude. You know, so people gravitate him and understand him as a person. You talk about a cat that had business sense at 21, 22 years old. We in the streets trying to figure it out.
Right. Yeah, he was very good at what he did. Everything he touched, man, turned to gold. You know what I mean? From the Death Row thing to other music ventures and movies and stuff, man. I'm heard, I don't know if it's true or not, that he's responsible for Denzel.
Yeah, he represented you. Basically, he signed Denzel.
Denzel Washington.
Denzel Washington, he discovered it. He put him in a play called Checkmates. And, you know, from there, that's where Denzel went to. You know, he went to another a level of the game.
And this is a kid straight out of the East Side.
It's but low bottoms. You know, me and him argue every day about that. He tell me every day. He said, I ain't gonna let you disrespect us.
But he had vision, though, man.
He had a hell of a vision. But you gotta understand their lifestyle. You know, where they come from and where I come from, two different lifestyles. The only reason that I understand what's going on because my daddy from the East Side.
Who's your dad, man? Matter of fact, tell us who your dad is.
You guys know Papa Blue.
Papa Blue. And Papa Blue is, if you go Tootie, Reese, Big Finger Don, Rolls Royce Shorty, Doobie, the Suge, but Suge, the real Suge.
The real Suge, Raymond Wright, Doc Holliday, well, I don't know if he's saying that, shit like that. See, the difference with me and how I rock, I was actually raised in that. You see what I'm saying? You know, when I mean raised, I was raised in that. So my understanding of people hearing about these cats is different from me actually being raised by these cats.
That's what that's what's so amazing about this. Everything that you're saying, man, that had to be a cold upbringing, man.
Well, it comes from a cold upbringing when you try to understand the position that you're in at that time. You know, I know my mama was a debutante on the Westside. My daddy's a gangster thug and shit on the East Side, the low bottoms. They do what they do, they have me. So I'm cut.
So he's even friends with Al Lyons and them cats
Al
too.
Lyons, like, that's my Uncle Al. You see what I'm saying? Like Al Lyons, Suge, Rolls Royce Shorty, Big Finger Don, my father, Tootie. And then, I go today, I go a little older than that. J.T. McClain, which is John McClain's father, Real Gangsters. He came down here in the late 40s.
What about Flint Coleman? His dad.
Well, I didn't know too much about Flint. You see what I'm saying? Flint's my dad's folks. That's my
okay,
my
got you. So a deeper question, Reg. Why do you think Don Diva skipped over them guys that you named? Are some very high that's notoriety, notability in LA.
And no disrespect to Don Diva.
Okay.
See, but you got to understand something. You have to understand that sector. You see what I'm saying? You got to understand California. They didn't have the understanding of California. You see what I'm saying? I think I said something with my boy Al Prophet. He did an interview with me. And I told him, I said, you got to understand these cats from the East Coast, they come to the West Coast to do whatever they need to do business-wise, and then they go back to the East Coast. You see what I'm saying? East Coast, one thing, it's just like us on the West. We claim to be whatever, but we can't stick together as one unit. We're one of the most powerful units in the United States, but we can't come together. But you can go to the East Side, and these East Side cats can not like each other, but what they're going to do, they're going to do business together. That's the difference. Us on the West guys.
I'm glad you explained it that way, man, because the New York cats right now, a lot of those cats are accepting and adapting our culture. Right. You know what I mean? And they're, I don't know, maybe they will make it better, because if you think about it in this sense, when the first car was made by Daimler and over there in Mercedes, right? It was Ford that expand upon it. You understand? So what I'm saying, that often geographic locations don't really matter. It's just about what you bring to the idea to make it better.
Well, see, it still comes down to, first of all, it's about understanding life. You see what I'm saying? On the East Side, what used to amaze me about the East Side, when I went to East Side, I go to Philly, and I used to feel good. It brought my childhood back, of understanding how I wish my childhood was. Because you had kids, to this day, you can go down some Philly streets in that East Coast street, and kids are still playing outside. They're out here having fun. They busting a fire extinguisher. They got water. They're in the streets, mom and daddy on the porch.
And they don't do that here no more.
They don't do that. You see what I'm saying? That's what I miss. You see what I'm saying? You know, we basically stole our own culture of understanding how important it is to, you know, keep our kids safe. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, we have gang violence and all this old bullshit, but, you know, it's wrong if, you know, your grandson or, you know, your kids can't go outside in the middle of the street and play without you looking out the window for 5 minutes. That's serious shit. And until us on the West Coast put things in order for ourselves, it has nothing to do with the money factor. It's about taking care of self. You take care of the community take care of itself. Now, let's look where we at now. You got cats coming in from all over, from different states, starting shit here and leaving. And the shit falls back on us. You see what I'm saying? So we have to understand what's going on. There ain't no LA cats. You know, yeah, we got our shit going on, but you got these celebrity kids coming in, they get murdered or whatever the case may be out here on some other shit.
So do you think that they don't really understand where they at when they do that? When they come here and kind of go live and give up their locations, do they really know what they're doing when they do that?
It's that time and age. You know, that's what they do, social media. But at the end of the day, it comes from, how could I say it? It comes from us as parents. You see what I'm saying? That's just real. You know, if a kid, it's like me. I'm gonna take my direction. I'm gonna look at my dad. I'm gonna look at my mom, and I'm gonna take certain things from them to build my character as a man. You see what I'm saying? You know, you talking about a majority of this bullshit that's going on now. You're talking about 80 babies. Okay, let's talk about 80 babies. 80 babies are kids that you and myself and you have made. Okay, and it's somewhat you had a good, you know, relationship with your kids, like I have with my kids. So they had a certain cut in them. But you're talking about the majority of our people back then, they was on crack cocaine. So now you got a 5-year-old girl taking care of her 2-year-old brother. So they're left in the house while their mama and daddy's out there smoking, whatever the case may be. They had to fend for themselves. Okay, it's not that these kids are not smart. It's not that they're not educated. It's about, you know, the growth process. So the 80s baby grew up only knowing one thing: survival. They're gonna do whatever it takes to survive.
They didn't grow up on love. They grew up on survival.
There you go. You see what I'm saying? And it's fucked up. You see what I'm saying? It's fucked up. You see what I'm saying? Because that's what crack did to our community.
So you, Big Reg, you actually never claimed or said anything, but how did you not become a participant in that scenario? How did you duck that, or how did you just overcome it?
I was raised by real, you know,
gangsters,
real hustlers.
Yeah, those names you named, Tootie,
I was raised,
your dad.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, I was raised by them. So my mentality, and it's no disrespect to anybody, but it's just like how you met my dad, you know who my dad is, you met Tootie, you know of these pet cats, but there's a difference of knowing of them and being raised by them.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying? Because I'm laced with a whole different, I'm just low key because I learned how to stay pat.
Let me tell you something, man. When I was growing up and I decided to enter the game, man, them was the cats. I was trying to get that blueprint, because whatever the blueprint was to how they perfected the game and put it down, it was the way to go. I mean, during the early 80s and on up to now, you know what I mean? Because when you think about the Freeway Ricks and the Neville Kings and all those cats.
See, Neville King, don't fuck with me with Neville. Well, we used to sleep in pajamas at Neville King's mama's house on Victoria, okay? You know, I know Neville ever since he played football at Baldwin. You see what I'm saying? You know, his father was a judge, you know, in Beverly Hills. You know, Neville went to Beverly Hills High. You know, when Neville started playing in this game, it was funny to me because I know Neville. You said this motherfucker hair used to be down here. You feel me? So Neville, that was the Windsor Hill boy. You used to call them the Windsor Hills boys. You know, everybody had their little sectors. You know, there's the Windsor Hills boys. You know, him and Fat Ass Greg, his partner, rest in peace, which was my boy. You know, that's what, you know, Eddie, David Child. You know, they was more street racers. They like doing street race cars, and they should fuck with the motorcycles. That was their whole thing. You know, so it's funny. You know, Neville King. I don't look at how people go, Neville King. You go, yeah, okay, all that's good. You know, all that's good. But I know Neville. You know, these cats I know personally. You know, on a personal level.
That's cool, man.
Yeah, me, Neville, and Zen Price. You know, and, you know, we just have fun.
Right. So, when you look at what's going on in today's society, what can you offer the kids that help them correct their circumstances? You know what I mean? You know, because there's so much going on on the West Coast.
It's not the kids, okay? It's us. It's our generation. It's the parents. You see what I'm saying? Till we have a clear understanding on, you know, our parenting, then we have an understanding, you know, on life and how these kids work. Okay? You want to learn something about your kid? What you do, you go listen to the music they listen to, and then you'll know where their mindset is, and then you'll understand them better.
So would you say that a lot of the culture has adapted this hip hop, gangbang, and some of the like offhanded cultures has been combined into one?
It has nothing to do with that. You know, the black culture was built on music. See, when you come to LA, you know, I'm gonna give you a little history, professor, about LA.
Okay.
You know, when we migrated here to Los Angeles in the late 1800s, when we migrated to where they call now, it's called Skid Row. Okay, and we moved up Central, where the Dunbar Hotel and those things was in the 20s and shit like that. They used to consider the Dunbar Hotel in that strip of Central called Little Harlem. So when the black entertainers came to California, that's where they stayed, that's where they partied at, and then the rich people out of Beverly Hills come grab them up, take them up to Beverly Hills, do what they do, they show and dance, and bring them back down there and drop them off on Central. You see what I'm saying? That was our stomping grounds. You see what I'm saying? So the history always been there. You know, it's just not something that's new. It's about understanding history, where we came from. Because after Central Ave, what was it? It was Avalon was hot. And then after Avalon, it's
I remember the lobbying on Avalon, 120. Jeffy's on Avalon.
All that old shit. And after we moved from Avalon, we moved to Broadway. Broadway was a strip. And then Figueroa was a strip because that's where Sam Cooke got kicked. And then the Normandy Club. And then Western was the strip.
And then your dad had the club. What was it called?
Page 4.
Page 4, and that was over there near the jungle. That was next to Blueberry Hill.
Right,
matter of fact.
Blueberry Hill is where they shot the Mac at. If you saw that movie, The Mac, when they was in the club, you know, that's where they was at, you know, at Blueberry Hill. The barbershop, I think what they did, the barbershop with Uncle Frank and Uncle Ted Ward brothers, if you know anything about them.
Yeah, I'm familiar with them.
Yeah, you know, I think that was their Girls and Dolls that used to be in the same shopping plaza. Okay, this is the same time when Lonnie Simmons came down from Texas and opened up the Total Experience.
Total Experience.
Yeah, then he did this, you know, his thing with, you know, with Demetrius on Disco 9000. Young Lonnie Jr. and Winford, his two sons, stayed next door to me when we was growing up. So, you know, all that. So we used to, you know, the history of the the West Side is so deep because, you know, people don't know about the Parisian Room.
Nah,
Yeah,
right
you
there
see what I'm saying?
on Santa Barbara.
No, Parisian Room used to be at the top of Washington and La Brea, where the, right now is the post office. They used to be the.
I remember Skillet and Leroy and them used to be there. Was it
Skillet you talking about?
The comedians.
Yeah, but it was at the top of. If you go straight up La Brea, when you get to Washington, it was right there where the post office is to this day. That's where the Parisian Room.
Right.
You know, people got, you know, oh yeah. Roscoe.
There was another club too, though, right there on Santa Barbara. It's Martin Luther King now, but
yeah, but Santa Barbara, the Page 4, you had Blueberry Hill, and you had the Guys and Doll. That's the barbershop. Hamburger City used to sit right there.
And this one was closer to Western, though.
Oh, you talking about Uncle Buster's? He had over there with Marlon. What's her name?
Marla Gibbs.
Marla Gibbs' room. There used to be another club there before there. But then, see, if we go back when we was kids, you know, at the top of La Brea and Stock where everything meets used to be a club over there, and that was Uncle Buster's club. And then you got J.T. McClain. Had a club down there right across the street.
This was the era of the club, man, when it was popping.
Yeah,
it was, as the kids would say, it was lit.
Black clubs.
Yeah, black clubs. Black clubs.
And you know that's that's what it was about. It was black, you know. It was
So
black unity.
let me ask you this though. So at some point you got into the entertainment business, right? Or behind the scenes, so to speak.
Well, I was in the entertainment business at 11, 12 years old because I was going through these clubs cleaning it up. You see what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
But as far as the entertainment game, how I got into it and, you know, kind of dug it is, you know, because of Eric, Easy.
Okay.
You know, me and Easy, we had a strong relationship because me and him used to do business together. So, you know, that's where that came from. When I went to the penitentiary, when they threw everything at me but the kitchen sink, I was fighting.
Uh-huh.
And me and Eric, you know, before, you know, I guess when he started NWA, I was already in jail. And what happened is, you know, he used to call. You know, he used to call my grandmother all the time.
Uh-huh.
And she used to get on my nerve, oh, Eric calling and all this old bullshit. And I just, you know, when you jailing. You've been in jail before. You don't want to hear no motherfucking shit. Motherfucker, you ain't putting no money on my book. You ain't talking about a motherfucking thing. You
Right.
ain't helping me with my lawyer fee. You ain't doing none of that. So what ended up happening, I decided to go on and call one day. And when I called, my granny said, yeah, that mother, you know, she didn't cuss. She said, that boy Eric keep calling. And all right, man, give me his number. I called him, and I'll never forget, he brought back something. He said, yeah. He said, motherfucker, why you ain't called? You know, holler at your boy. He said, man, I'm doing good. I said, yeah. I don't want to hear all that. We street, because I left him street. I didn't know nothing about no music. He said, yeah, you heard that song by NWA, Fuck the Police? I said, yeah, these police, the sheriff, LA County Sheriff, was coming in, they used to talk about it.
Right.
And, I said, yeah, they play it on the radio and all that old goofy shit. And he said, yeah, that's me. I said, what the fuck you mean that's you? He said, yeah, I'm Easy. I'm Easy in NWA, that's my shit. I said, fuck you. I told him, I said, man, fuck you, E. I don't want to hear that bullshit. But he convinced me, and he did something very special, you know, to my grandmother. You know, he looked out for her, and he looked out, you know, for my ex. You know, made sure I was good the whole time. I had to finish up my little stretch. When I came home, that's the first thing he did. You know,
So you came in as a producer or a manager?
I came in, you know, Eric knew what type of cat I is. I ain't about to work for nobody.
Uh-huh.
You know, I'm a street dude before anything.
Uh-huh.
But when I came in, you know, he gave me the opportunity. He gave me a check. You know, he gave me a check for $350,000. And he said, Reg, the only thing you gotta do, create you a label, create your entity, and I'll do a deal with you. And you know, that's how that marriage was made.
Oh man, that's an awesome story right
You know,
there,
you see what I'm
man.
saying? And that's real shit. You see what
Right.
I'm saying? So that's how I got in the music game. And from the music game, you know, I learned, I started meeting people. And then, you know, John, you know, which is like, you know, my big uncle, godfather, whoever, J.T. McClain, John McClain.
I thought you was talking about John Boy because he had a club down the
John
Marina,
Boy, I know John
Marina
Boy,
too, down there, the Casanovas.
Man, listen, I know about John Boy. Casanova was right here. The
Uh-huh.
same thing
Uh-huh.
was after Flanagan's. You see what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. John Boy, you know, John Boy had the beauty shop and all that, but John Boy, good people.
Yeah.
But once again, you know, that's dealing with a couple of years older than me, so I'm gonna always respect them. I know John Boy, Whitey, all them. They're my big brothers.
Man, Whitey Enterprise, how's he doing?
Man, Steve's doing good. Good dude. You know, that's my big bro.
That's off the east
That's
side.
that east side, that low bottoms. You see what I'm saying? You know, good dude. You know,
How much
solid.
time did he actually do, you know?
I think Whitey pulled in 30.
Man. All these people you speaking about are is nobility here in
Hey,
LA.
I speak when I see cats talk about them,
Uh-huh.
but I can pick up the phone right now and call them, they're going to pick up.
Right.
You know, see, that's the difference. You can talk about motherfuckers all day, but, you know, it's just the love that they know I have for them and the love and respect they have for me.
Right. Well, I don't want to take up too much of your time, man, and hopefully we can get a part 1, or 2, 3, 4, 5, man.
Anything for the professor.
Man, I appreciate it, Big Red. Sitting down with
Anything
you.
for the professor.
Man, this has been an awesome day. We're here in the marina, you know.
Hey,
So
don't be giving these cats my location.
now we ain't gonna give them the location, but
I'm gonna do something, man.
we just let them know, man, that Big Reg is in the house, man. And Professor Melly Mel, the Hood Postman, you know that vibe. And we are out. What do you got to say for going, Big Reg? Any positive thoughts for the kids?
Hey, check this out. Live your dreams. Continue on dreaming your dream and live it. Don't let nobody tell you anything different. Don't be a follower, be a leader.
Appreciate that. We're out.